On December 9th, 2013, adequate notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act has been posted on bulletin board at Borough Hall, filed with the Borough Clerk, faxed to the Our Town, the Record, the Community News, and the County Seat newspapers, and distributed to all persons, if any, requesting copies of the same pursuant to said act. In case of an emergency or fire alarm, you must evacuate the building by using any of the exit doors in the room. They're immediately to my right, and the double doors at the rear of the room. Occupants must exit the building by using the staircase and not the elevator. This meeting is being recorded by both video and audio and may be rebroadcast.
Can everyone please rise for the invocation?
Let's pray. Lord of mercy and grace, we thank you this evening for your overflowing abundance. Our lives are filled with so much we take too little time to acknowledge. We ask you for your forbearance, and we also ask you for wisdom and sound judgment. Let's take what we have, all that we are, and use them for your service and service to our neighbor. I ask that you give our leaders guidance so that through their deliberation they may help to empower us, the community, to be the people you have called us to be. This we pray in your name, God Almighty, Creator and Ruler of all. Amen.
Can everyone please remain standing for the flag salute, but before we do the flag salute, take a moment to remember Jason Pizzone, who passed away this week. He served on the fire department in town for a little while, grew up in town. He worked for the borough at one point. His family members have worked for the borough and are very dedicated as volunteers for the borough. So at this time, if we take a moment to remember him, his wife, and his very young daughter, as well as his brother, his mother, and father. Thank you. Flag salute. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll.
Mayor Padavano.
Here.
Council members, Maroney.
Here.
Eisenberg.
Here.
Meglio is absent. Ballerini, Mr. Ballerini did call, did email earlier today. Unfortunately, had other family commitment, so he's absent. Fleischman.
Here.
Febray.
Here.
Borough Attorney Ronald Berrio.
Here.
Borough Clerk Jean Pellegro is here. Borough Administrator Roberta Stern.
Here.
Go through if anybody has anything on or off the agenda. Councilman Maroney.
No, Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Eisenberg.
No, Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Fleischman.
Nothing on or off the agenda at this time, Mr. Mayor.
Council President Fabretti.
Nothing, sir.
Borough Clerk.
I do want to mention that the bill list, there's been a bill list amendment added to your agenda. The reason for the revision.
Oh. Borough Administrator.
I don't have anything specific other than the fact that the amendment to the bill list were just things that we needed to get out in a timely fashion, because otherwise we'd have some problems in January.
Do we know where that amendment starts, or is it all filtered in?
No,
Does it start with Almighty Tree?
Yes.
Where it says amendment.
Yeah, Almighty Tree.
That would be the place where the amendment starts.
I thought you were. I thought you meant.
Picking up on your sarcasm.
I thought you meant Almighty Tree because there was just so much paper for the.
The last 2 pages, then up to bills.
Yes. Yes, sir.
All right. Borough Attorney.
I have a closed session item to go over,
Dealing with.
contract negotiations.
Does anybody else have anything to close tonight? Personnel is closed. We have some time. It might be appropriate to go into closed at this point. We have a motion to adjourn into closed, or go into closed, though?
Make a motion.
Second. Roll call.
Maroney?
Yes.
Eisenberg?
Yes.
Fleischman?
Yes.
Sedbray?
Yes. Be resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Maywood pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meeting Act, the Mayor and Council meet in closed session discussing the following subject matters: contract negotiations and personnel. Be further resolved that it's precisely determined at this time the discussion conducted in said closed session can be disclosed to the public upon taking final action thereon, provided disclosure does not violate the attorney-client privilege, question, or as content under invasion of privacy. If further resolved, Mayor and Council of the Borough of Maywood will return to open session after this meeting.
All right, we're going to go in close. We'll try to get back as close to 8:15 as we can.
On December 9th, 2013, adequate notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act has been posted on the bulletin board at Borough Hall, filed with the Borough Clerk, faxed to the Our Town, the Record, the Community News, and the County Seat newspapers, and distributed to all persons, if any, requesting copies of same pursuant to said act. In case of an emergency or fire alarm, you must evacuate the building by using any of the exit doors in the room. They're immediately to my right, and the double doors at the rear of the room. Occupants must exit the building by using the staircase and not the elevator. This meeting is being recorded by both video and audio and may be rebroadcast.
Roll call.
Mayor Padavano.
Here.
Council members: Maroney,
Here.
Eisenberg,
Here.
Neglio and Ballerini are out this evening. Fleischman,
Here.
Sedbray,
Here.
Borough Attorney Ronald Dario,
Here.
Borough Clerk Jean Pellegrin is here, Borough Administrator Roberta Stern.
Here.
All right. First item on our agenda is a presentation from Council Member Eric Fleischman for his service. Before we pass him his plaque, which doesn't come near the amount of gratitude or debt that is owed to any council person or member of the governing body who serves for 9 years. Just a few words, I guess. Last year, and it's always a favorite quote of mine when dealing with people who serve on governing bodies or serve in political life, and it is the portion of former President Roosevelt's comment in 1910 that he made from a speech that's entitled "Man in the Arena." And a relevant portion of that rather lengthy speech is very appropriate, in my opinion, certainly to Mr. Fleischman's service and to everyone's service. And it goes as follows. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how strong the man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes up short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming. But who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who never know victory nor defeat. Now, those are words that I think every member who serves in politics or public life all live by, and I'm sure we all do. And I'm sure during Eric's 9 years on the council, there were many things that were accomplished and a few things that maybe weren't. But the main issue is that Eric always served, from what I've seen over the many years that I've observed him in other positions I've been fortunate to be in the town, He's always served with the best interest of the town in his heart. John F. Kennedy said that things do not happen, things are made to happen. And we can be thankful for Eric's service to our town, for the things that he has helped make happen here in Maywood. He's moving on. His moving on, I'm sure, is a healthy progression for him, and it's a progression for our town. And I'm sure any person who serves in his place will likely have new ideas and new perspective for the job. But we should all take Eric's work ethic as an example and try, as he has, to give it our all, always, and try to do what's right for this town. As Eric moves on, we thank him for his service and wish him well in his new challenges and new endeavors. And I personally thank him for his advice and more importantly, for his friendship. We do have... We do have a plaque that I'll ask Mr. Fleischman to come down, and all the members of council who are present, and Borough Clerk and Borough Attorney, please join us, and Borough Administrator, join us.
Oh, my God, it made me cry. That was like, did you really do all that? What you said about me when I left?
Okay.
Well, we certainly will miss you, buddy.
Thank you.
I'll reserve my comments for my committee report.
Okay. All right. All right. We can move along with the agenda here. There are no ordinances. Obviously, this is our last meeting of the year. And I will open the meeting to the public. Anyone wishing to speak to the public at this time? Yes. State name and address for the...
I don't know. Oh, yes, it's working. Okay. Hildegard Ansler, residing at 65 Edgewood Place. I'm the one who put the lollipop over there.
There's a timer on this. Thank you. I like the good lawn.
About this time last year, I raised my hand foolishly to volunteer to serve on the Shade Tree Commission, and you all were kind enough to appoint me to that commission. And by the summer, at the beginning of the summer, during the time that there are no meetings for this commission, I sat down to write a letter of resignation, and it ended up being a 4-page memo, of which the first page you have the top heading as to what I felt needed to be done. My background in trees and horticulture is like 60-plus years, 60-plus years of hands-on experience. And having seen things that really troubled me, that troubled my neighbors, my block, Edgewood Place, is like a prime example of good intentions gone seriously awry. And I have tried to make a difference, clearly talking to the wall, and just a lot of things that don't make sense here. Clearly, I blundered into something that I had no idea. It's funny, when I left India the last time, I thought I was leaving the whole thing of untouchables and sacred cows. Clearly, that was not the case. But anyway, if you would turn to the second page. This photo was submitted, I don't know by who, but I can assume somebody who's still on the Shade Tree Commission. That's an assumption. And I recognize this property because I had personally been there, had personally designated that a Japanese tree lilac be planted there because the wires are incredibly low there and open space. So the issue of mildew, which tends to be a problem with lilacs, even the tree lilacs, would not be an issue. Lo and behold, when I came to the borough that week before the plantings, for the arrival of the trees, the secretary actually got into a debate with me as to the things that I had decided made sense, okay? And this was the first one we started with, and I said to myself, you know, this is pointless. She had made, I don't know based on what, had made a decision that a hornbeam should go there. I mean, if there ever was a tree ill-suited for this location, it would be a hornbeam. The yellow lines are there. I put them there, the highlights. Okay? It's a tree that is so highly canopied. If you turn to the next page, when I had suggested, as part of the tree ordering decision process, 10 or 12 of these European hornbeams, that's what it should look like. There's an illustration in the middle of the page, on the next page. I'm sorry if I'm putting you to sleep, Mr. Dario.
No, ma'am.
And as you can see, this bears no relation to what the intent was. Okay, I'm not going to belabor it. I think the picture says the whole story. It also, I don't know why the commission referenced itself as a committee, but I think that just kind of highlights how confused they are on just everything. They don't know if they're a commission, a committee, they don't know a tree from a bush. I mean, it's staggering stuff. But anyway, I think the picture speaks for itself. And if you want to take a look, I've identified the address on there, so you can actually see this. Okay? I do have a question for Mr. Dario, because in that same ill-fated week, I came home that evening and I had a message from his office. And then spoke with him the next day. I think it was a Monday, Tuesday, or a Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't have notes on this. I have them on my desk. Not very useful at the moment. But I'm just curious because I had actually written up what I was doing. His call, if I understood it correctly, was prompted by some residents, a resident or a plural, that wasn't 100% clear, had called the borough, which was exactly what they were supposed to do, because the markings were done so that a resident would know what was going to happen. Even though it would be in the town right-of-way, it still impacts the property of the owner. And I had put it actually in the paper, which is your last page if you turn to that. Okay? And nobody from the borough, no one in the administration, called me with any issues with this. I mean, it was out there in public in our town. So I don't really understand who made the decision to have the borough attorney. And I think my first question to you, Mr. Dario, was, is this on billable time? In other words, am I and the other taxpayers paying for this? And unfortunately, your answer, of course, was affirmative, yes. So I'm just really puzzled as to how and why that happened.
Why I called you?
Yes. Who asked you to call? That's the mystery to me.
It would have either been the BA or
The who?
either the borough administrator or Perhaps it was the clerk or the mayor. I don't know. I speak to someone at the borough just about every day.
Yeah,
usually 5
so you
times a
don't
day.
remember?
I honestly
I just
don't.
want to bet on that, by the way. I knew that would be the response, but that...
What would the difference be if I said it, or if the
No, I'm just
administrator said it?
Well, I'm just extremely puzzled why somebody within the borough administration did not call me if they had a problem or a question or an issue. They could have called me first at the beginning of November when this was in the paper. I mean, I was, and then when somehow, I don't know what transpired, I still don't understand why the borough attorney was the one calling me at billable time. I'm sorry, I don't get that.
Borough attorney
Okay.
represents the council, and
I understand that. So why was I being called on that level when I was doing what I was appointed to do as a commissioner on the Shade Tree Commission? It's not a committee, it's a commission. And the ordinance, number 94, et cetera, it's not in there, clearly delineates what it is. So I'm not going to get an answer, obviously.
I think I answered it. I answered the question.
Okay, so that's the answer.
Yes.
Okay. All right, well, so be it. Obviously, that week went from bad to worse. The trees were unloaded. I got the call very late. There was, they were unloaded, and obviously someone else had made a decision to accept what most of it clearly should not have been accepted. And the evidence of that is out there on the streets. So, I don't know. Can I assume most of you are parents? The trees, I know, in the budget are not a huge item. We're talking about $7,000. It's not gigantic in terms of the budget. It gets higher with the DPW labor on top of it. But the impact on the town is huge, either negative or positive. And it seems like year after year, this money is being spent for just a negative impact. And I think you have to ask yourselves, is this the town? Is this what you want to leave to your children? And I have a few quotes on the front page. I'm not going to read them. You can read them yourselves. Thank you.
thank you. Anyone else from the public wish to speak? Okay, we'll close the meeting to the public. Move on to the approval of minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the November 26, 2013 council meeting minutes?
Move to approve.
Second. Roll call.
Maroney?
Yes.
Eisenberg?
Yes.
Fleischman?
Yes.
Febray?
I'm sorry, I'm an abstain. I don't take them, I'll abstain.
We have the presentation of the bills and claims, request for public comment. We have the bills and supplemental bill resolution attached to the agenda. Is there a motion for the approval?
Move for the approval.
Second.
Roll call.
Maroney?
Yes.
Eisenberg?
Yes.
Fleischman?
Yes.
Febray?
Yes.
We have no resignations. We do have an appointment, Elsa Chen, as a member of the Maywood Fire Police, effective December 19, 2013. Is there a motion for the appointment?
Motion to approve. Second.
Roll call.
Maroney?
Yes.
Eisenberg?
Yes.
Fleischman?
Yes.
Febray?
Yes.
We have a request by the MYAA basketball to utilize the Maywood shuttle bus for travel to a tournament on Friday, December 27, 2013, and Monday, December 30, 2013, leaving Maywood at 12:15 p.m., traveling to Mahwah and returning no later than 1:30 p.m. This is a drop-off only, from what I understand. Is there a motion to permit this? Now, the bus does run normally on those days, but will be obviously off the route for the time between approximately 12 and 2 to do this transport if it's approved.
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Maroney?
Yes.
Eisenberg?
Yes.
Fleischman?
Yes.
Febray?
Yes.
Resolutions by title.
Resolution 15413, transfer of funds, and number 2. Resolution 15513, resolution scheduling date for 2014 reorganization meeting. Resolution 15613, tax board judgment for Block 3, Lot 1. Resolution 15713, a resolution ratifying and confirming the purchase, installation, and hardware for security system upgrades. Resolution 15813, a resolution amending the shared service agreement for a shared municipal court administrator and support services between the Borough of Borough and the Borough of Maywood. Resolution 15913, tax board judgment for Block 2, Lot 5.
Is there a motion for adoption?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call. Maroni?
Yes.
Eisenberg?
Yes.
Fleischman?
Yes.
Severide?
Yes.
We have no introduction of ordinances. Committee reports. Councilman Moran.
Mr. Mayor, I have nothing to report, except to everyone a very healthy and relaxing holiday.
Thank you. Councilman Eisberg.
Nothing to report, Mr. Mayor, and the same, I wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Councilman Fleisch.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. No policy issues to report in the DPW. We did have our second snow event of the year already, which was cleaned very promptly, and luckily it was a weekend storm, which helped get the roads clean in a hurry. Touching upon what you had said earlier in the presentation, and to kind of recap 9 years of service, to reflect and look back and to decide what to say and what to draw upon. First of all, thank you for your kind words. It has been an honor and a truly rewarding and humbling experience to serve the community as a member of the governing body these past 9 years. I am proud to have been a part of the many accomplishments achieved by this council, as well as those of previous councils. It has been an honor to have worked with so many dedicated volunteers that serve on our committees, our youth organizations, our Board of Ed, the members of our fire police, first aid squad, and fire department. I would like to thank all of the professionals, vendors, and each and every borough employee, both past and present, for their hard work, professionalism, and dedication to the residents of Maywood. Thank you all for your courtesy, friendship, and guidance over the years. It is greatly appreciated. I would also like to thank the residents of Maywood for supporting me, electing me, and providing me with the opportunity to help govern the Borough of Maywood in this capacity. Most importantly, I would like to thank my family. Couldn't have done it without you, Lisa. My son was here tonight. I think he took off already. No photo op for him. He's gone. It has been a remarkable experience, and it cannot be done without the support of family and friends. And Lisa, thank you for all your love and support over the years. Couldn't have done it without you. On a lighter note, I have served with 4 mayors, 3 administrators, 2 borough attorneys, and 1 borough clerk, and a partridge in a shade tree. All kidding aside, folks. Mr. Mayor, thank you for your friendship, support, and I must say, your dedication and devotion to the office of mayor is truly remarkable. I don't think anyone can stake a claim to that more. I wish the new council all the best. Congratulations on their success. And I wish you all the best of luck in the challenges that you face ahead in 2014. And Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and good health to everyone. Thank you very much.
Council President Flores.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd just like to let everybody know the ladder truck is back in town and it's back in service. Actually ahead of schedule. I want to mention the passing, the mayor has already, I'd like to mention the passing of Jason Padone. He's son of firefighter and former Chief Bruce Schneider and brother to ambulance squad Captain Mark Padone. And Jason was also a member briefly of Truck 17. I just want his family and his friends to know that his neighbors are sharing in his grief. As Council President, I want to thank Councilman Fleischman for his years of dedicated service. While we've had a somewhat rocky relationship at times, I've always looked to Eric for guidance, and as a new councilman, I use him as an example of how to do this job. And make no mistake that this is a job. We are all volunteers, but if done right, it's a full-time job. And when you see your friends and neighbors at sporting events or anywhere else in town, you're a councilman. People come to you with their problems, their suggestions, their concerns. So this is a full-time job. And I want to thank Eric for that, for his service. He and I spoke a couple weeks before the election, and we said, we spoke for about an hour. Whatever the outcome was, we both said we left there saying that whatever happens, no one really, except a few small handful of people, will know what we actually go through up here and what it feels like to hold this position. And for those people, Eric included, there will always be a mutual respect and a camaraderie that you just don't have with other people, and because of the nature of this business. So again, I'd like to say thank you, Eric, and good luck in your future endeavors. Thank you. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney.
Mr. Mayor, I guess my report in closed session, I'm all done.
Madam Clerk.
Just a couple things. In your boxes today, you received the policies and procedures manual as required by the best practices that was prepared by the CFO. That will have to be adopted at the reorg meeting, if you could please review that. And you also will find in your mailboxes the end-of-year report as submitted by the borough engineer. Mr. Fleischman, I would like to thank you, and I wish you good luck in the future. And don't forget your name block.
Madam Administrator.
Mr. Mayor, I have no official report, but I would also like to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and a happy and healthy New Year. And to Councilman Fleischman, it has been a pleasure. We've worked pretty closely this last 2 years, and I think that it's been mutually beneficial because of shared thoughts about a lot of things. So I wish you very well, and I hope a couple of those teams take home the trophies. So keep coaching.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. To report that I attended Lydecker Manor's annual holiday party on Friday and picked up their payment in lieu of taxes, which is always a fun meeting to go to. You actually get a check. This year it was $127,846. So it was higher than last year. Certainly welcome contribution to that. Since this is our last last meeting of the year rather, maybe it's a little appropriate to kind of give a little bit of a recap on what we've done. Every person on this board has done, and every person involved in this administration or employee of the borough has accomplished. In my opinion, it was another great year for the borough. We started off coming through the remnants of Hurricane Sandy, and I think we've taken some steps to help improve our infrastructure, one of which was obtaining a new generator through the Hackbarth Foundation for the library so that the Office of Emergency Management now can be moved there and set up at that location where it technically should be off of this site because the police and fire are here and you're really not supposed to have them at the same location just for redundancy purposes. So we accomplished that. We made some improvements to the swimming pool this year, including the new ramp for the ADA ramp for the kiddie pool, the new lifeguard chairs, some new improvements to the structure and the facility over there, including landscaping. And the bathrooms are on course for getting redone. We collectively passed that bond, which will help our infrastructure greatly in a diverse number of ways, including improvements to our parks, fire department equipment, DPW equipment, building repairs, borough computers and equipment for this building. On a financial level, we again adopted unanimously a budget that was under 2% of an increase, second only to last year, which was the two of them being the lowest in over a decade. And I commend every person on this council for their hard work with that. Switched over, we had some savings with the switch over to the prescription plan this year, which saved us over 6 figures. Our municipal court was the first year of the shared service, and in the years prior, the municipal court brought in a revenue of approximately $30,000, some years even losing money just because of the overhead. This year, we're on course to bring in over $150,000 after the expenses. We had our bond rating increased twice this year, and that is all a direct result of the work that the council does, and every member of this council. Our police department, we added a police officer this year. We've worked with the force and the police department to get them up to snuff and provide them with the materials and items that they need to keep our town safe, including the new tasers this year. They were able to purchase some assault rifles this year, which unfortunately are things that are necessary in this ever-changing world that we now live in. They've also conducted some serious operations this year, which has helped eliminate some illegal activity in town and continue to better protect our residents. We've worked with the Board of Education and passed an ordinance which I personally see every morning as helping alleviate a serious traffic problem down by Memorial School on Grant Avenue. We've instituted background checks for the coaches and rec employees to make sure that our children are safe. And we saw our fire department, EMS, fire, police respond to two major house fires this year, where fortunately no residents were harmed, no members of the volunteers forces were harmed, and the properties, quite frankly, were saved from being a complete loss in both circumstances. And that just goes to show the great work of our volunteers in town. We've been able to accomplish a lot of infrastructure repair, to sidewalks in town, paving projects. The big project of East Hunter that started and will continue as the spring comes. Spring Valley Road, Fairmount parking lot, the senior center and rec center completely have new HVAC systems. Thank you very much to Mr. Fleischman and his work on that. Library roof and elevator are being repaired. We're going to get that pump house finally offline and eliminate that liability and property. We've had some new developments come into town, the Wellness Center and Essex Street finally coming to fruition after years of being worked on. The Essex Street Medical Building at 113 Essex Street. We've got new businesses in town, thanks in part to the work that the Chamber of Commerce has done in bringing new businesses and making it and encouraging new businesses. We've had new businesses at the Bergentown Center, a couple of new stores on Pleasant Avenue, new bank on Essex Street, new limousine service on Brook Avenue, and a new restaurant coming in on Maywood Avenue near the train tracks. Shade Tree has planted hundreds of trees and eliminated dangerous and dead trees over the spring and fall of this year, and done a good job. Community Garden had its first very productive year of producing over 100 pounds of vegetables that were donated to soup kitchens and helped keep us on track with our recycling and providing education about sustainability for our town. And finally, we've done and maintained doing some of the things that have been going on for years that help keep Maywood the small town, small character that it is, and that is our 4th of July. We've added more bands this year and some new bands. We had the fireworks again with live entertainment again. We had our second Fall Fest, which was a bigger success, in my opinion, than the year before. We had the holiday decorations on Pleasant Avenue, the tree lighting a few weeks ago. That was just a great day for our town. And all of that was done through donations from local business people in town and not utilizing taxpayers' funds. And that goes to show that the businesses in town are really giving back to us, which is all the more reason why we must give back to them and always maintain the shop local, as I think we all do, because that's a very symbiotic relationship. But again, all of this stuff occurred because of this governing body working together. We will continue our progress in 2014. We'll keep the borough moving forward with the primary goal, keeping political agendas out of here and just focusing on benefiting our town. And I think we've done that. But it's my opinion, by continuing to work hard together, we will keep the borough affordable for families and seniors and everybody, quite frankly, and make sure that we have a vibrant commercial development and smart commercial development, and to keep what I believe is our primary goal of keeping Maywood Maywood. That affordable small town where residents know and respect each other. And I think I'm looking forward to 2014, as I'm sure everyone is. I echo everybody else's good wishes for a happy holiday season, very Merry Christmas for everybody, and a happy and healthy New Year. And thank you again, Eric, for all of your service. You know, you can take solace in the fact that you served one more year and longer in public life than George Washington. So, congratulations and happy holidays. I don't think we have anything else on the agenda. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right.